Hello, everybody. For Monday Motivation, I want to talk about God's call. God's call. But first, we're going to start with some trivia questions. How many books in the Bible are named for women? 2. Ruth, Esther. Guess how often Esther comes up on Sunday mornings in church? We've got a 3-year cycle of readings. Esther comes up how many times in those 3 years? Once. And it's an alternate text. Guess how many times God is mentioned in the book of Esther? 0. In fact, Martin Luther hated the book of Esther for a whole host of reasons, but I wonder if it's because God's not explicit at work. God's name is not mentioned, but you know what? God is at work through Esther, through crazy coincidences that I don't think really are coincidences. I encourage you to read the story, check it out, but there's a moment in the story where Esther's cousin Mordecai, how's that for a name? Mordecai says to Esther, maybe you are called for such a time as this. Spoiler alert, Esther saves the day. And so we give thanks for powerful women. We give thanks for God at work through brave folks like Esther and Mordecai. But today, I also believe God is calling you for such a time as this. Maybe God is calling you to do something about folks on the border desperate for food and water and safety. Maybe God is calling you for such a time as your family. What's going on there? Maybe God's calling you to do something with church or in your community, but I know God is calling you and us all for a time like this. So may you be motivated by God who is at work in Esther's and our own stories, and a God who calls us all. Amen.